Howdy y'all, I hope you guys are doing well, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope you guys are healthy. So today I'm going to be talking about some YouTube beef, some fashion controversy, if you want to call it that. Today's video is going to be about Ken Ijima and the multiple things that he is accused of, and I'm going to be looking at his responses to the accusations and kind of dissecting if they're good, bad, if it's justifiable, if it's not. But if you are interested, stick around. Just as a short introduction to who Ken is, like I said, he's a fashion vlogger. He runs a brand called Vuja Studios, and just as a preface, I don't dislike this guy. I think that Ken has a really solid YouTube channel. I really enjoy watching his videos. I have watched his videos for about a year now, and I happen to have one of his flared cargo pants where these are great. I think these are some of the best cargo pants I've ever had, and I very much stand by the products that Vuja makes. However, Ken has been in some hot water, basically being called out by someone else. I'm not going to name names, I'm just going to say Ken because this is about Ken, and I'm going to single it on Ken himself. Because, I mean, hey, who can speak better for yourself than the man who is accused, I guess. So this isn't a personal attack at all. This isn't a thing that I have. This isn't a problem that I have with Ken. It's just something that I wanted to present information so that you guys can formulate your own opinion on. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the topics as Ken brings them up on their Instagram stories. There are plenty of other like screenshots and everything that are involved in the whole situation, but I'm going to, for the sake of time, give you what Ken has replied to as far as accusations go. Starting with what Ken started with in his stories, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen so you guys can read along with me. I'm not that great of a reader, but yeah, I didn't even know he had anything against me. I guess I was obvious. I don't hate anyone and do not condone hating, so I won't call out any names for the sake of the matter. Same reason why I don't. So, the first thing that he brings up is proxying. Now, what the situation with that is that Ken is accused of basically running a very poor proxy service. He was an early adopter of the Iijima Pleats Please trousers that is oh so popular and is honestly, I have them coming in the mail soon and I'm very excited about it. They're great pants. But he himself on his channel advertised that he is going to be basically proxying for people, and what that is basically he buys them in Tokyo and then ships them out to wherever needs them. And that's really cool, and I think that's a great service to provide, and honestly it is so much more work than I'm willing to do that I wish I could do. But a lot of the times, a lot of the more exclusive or the more up-to-date Iijima pleats are only available in the Iijima store. So Ken was offering that service, which is great. However, one of his buyers came out and said that it took him quite a while to get his pants, and when he got his pants, he basically got a pair that seemed worn. It smelled like detergent, there was no tags, there was no receipt, there was nothing attached to it. So this customer was basically wary of, what did I pay so much money for when I was expecting a brand new pant? So in response to this, Ken says, some of the facts are true. I've proxied pleats in the past with an overwhelming request from the community, which is totally understandable. I mean, he is probably one of the only ones that's out there saying that he would proxy for people. If you ask me to proxy you something and request to add gifted plus low value, best believe I won't include any receipt or proof of purchase other than via images. You asking me to do that is already jeopardizing my image, and look, it backfired. I've always sent out products without tags or receipt because too many of you ask me not to. I think this is kind of weird. I don't really know any buyer who wouldn't want the receipt coming with it or proof of purchase, just to make sure, you know, authenticity is out of the question, you know. But man, this one is a strange one. He basically is claiming that gifted plus low value, saying that he really isn't paid for that much work, which is fair, I guess, but I feel like it would be a lot more effort to remove the tags, not ship the receipt, and just make sure everything is like, you know, like that, and then send it off to the buyer. I don't really find this a pretty good explanation really at all. And I hate to say it because I do like Ken's content, I do like what he does, but it's not a great response to the issue at hand. Next up, he brings up an issue where he was basically accused of stealing a pair of friend's pants from Hyder Ackerman, which he went to New York. This friend allowed him to stay with him for the time that he was in New York, and Ken is accused of stealing a pair of pants, sweatpants, that friend had, and then turning around and trying to sell it. This one is probably, I gotta say, probably one of the sleaziest ones that he is accused of. I'm not saying this is 100% true, I'm not saying this is 100% false. I'm just presenting information that's presented by Ken and some other sources that I've gathered that I'm not going to show because it's not my content, so they can keep those screenshots for themselves. Anyway, about the Hyder Ackerman sweatpants. I never stole or sold sweats to/from anyone. My friend who accused me of this was not very careful with his belongings and had lost things in the past before. It was convenient of him to accuse me for something I don't have personally, I guess is what he's trying to say, and didn't really care about. Main reason, for those who know me from way back, know that I've had the same sweatpants for years, and when I talked to someone about potentially letting that piece go, it was convenient for them to use that as leverage for situations like this. So he is claiming that he did not steal anything from his friend, but what I find really kind of not great is that he also claims that, oh, my friend has lost things before, which that's not a very good defense. Definitely didn't really need to bring that up. I'm not going to say this is true or false, but simply the fact that he was accused of this puts a little bit of a damper on his name, a little bit. Next up is an issue where he basically claimed to work for a certain company that I'm not going to name, obviously, I don't even know what it is, but claimed to work for a certain company, and a person who knew somebody who worked in that company asked one of the employees if they knew or had ever seen Ken before. That individual said, no, I've never seen Ken, I've never even heard of him, blah, 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 blah. And so he is accused of faking where he works. And in response to that, Ken goes, my job name requires confidentiality, and I'm not in the position to share where I work, what I work, and how I work to anyone without breaking the code of ethics. Totally understandable, totally valid, and that's not one that I can even argue. He can't share it, and that's most jobs. That's not even like arguable. So the next issue that he brings up is that he is accused of allowing people to purchase his cargo pants, these particular cargo pants, on his website prior to the actual drop, and those individuals put the pants on Grail for ridiculous amounts of prices. To give you an idea, these retailed for right around $400, and they were on Grailed, I think they're still on Grailed right now, for about $800 to $1,000, which is insane. I would never pay that for this pant, although I do love them. $800 to $1,000 is not feasible for me. But he is accused of giving people that password and basically manipulating the hype for his own piece, which is kind of sleazy, not really ethical. And what he said about that was, we gave out passwords to 5 to 10 close family and friends. Without further knowledge, some friends leaked the password to other friends of their own, and eventually to the wrong buyers. Due to these events, we will be locking down our website and canceling some orders to supply enough for the masses. We apologize for any inconveniences. This is probably the best way that he has responded to any of these accusations. This is one where he recognizes that there was a problem and apologizes for that problem and says something that will prevent this problem from happening again in the future. That is the ideal way for him to deal with all these accusations, whether true or not. Addressing them is important, and the fact that he owned up to this one is great, especially as a brand owner. Super cool of him to do that, and that's honestly as good as it gets as far as like apologizing for a mistake. So next up, the next topic that he brings up is the RAF Simmons riot bomber that he had basically worn in a ton of his videos, particularly like a year ago. And at some point he said when it got stolen in his luggage as he was traveling or something like that. And keep in mind, this is a $40,000 bomber. It's not it's rare, it's very sought after, and this is a crazy bomber to have. It's the same bomber that you see Drake wearing in the 2C Slide video. And oh my goodness, if I lost $40,000 worth of anything, I would cry my eyes out. But it seemingly, it came off as like he didn't even care, because in his videos he mentioned it, he said he was a little angry about it, and then moved on. Which I think is rather strange. I don't know. But he was accused of that bomber not even being his. So from what I understand, from what I've seen, apparently that Ken Ijima went to New York City to purchase that bomber from a seller for another person. It wasn't for Ken himself. So Ken goes to New York to go buy that RAF Simmons bomber and bring it back to Japan. And in the meantime, while the other person, his friend, isn't able to come to Japan just yet, he's holding on to it until he can basically get the bomber. It's really weird and convoluted. I hate really kind of like trying to wrap my mind around it because it's so random. But bottom line is, it technically wasn't his, and he really just kind of like toted it around like it was his, and like it really was kind of dishonest. There's really nothing wrong with what he did. There's really nothing too horrible about like that whole situation. However, it just seems really dishonest. And you know, obviously when you're watching a YouTuber, you want them to be transparent. You want to see their genuine reactions. You want them to be like, you want to know as much as you can, but knowing that he's not 100% honest. I'm not going to say he's completely lying, but knowing that he's not 100% honest in what he shows in his videos is kind of like, not the greatest quality to have. And in reference to that, he says his friend and him shared the bomber, and it is true that he lost the jacket at the airport. Why would we waste time making this up to resell it back on Grailed? We are adults who know the consequences of condoning those kinds of actions. Does 100% 50-50 ownership really matter if it is sharing with your close friends? I would let any of my friends wear everything in my closet without hesitation. Clothes are clothes, not a big deal to me. Now, what he's saying is pretty valid, I would say. I mean, if you really it's weird. I've never owned something 50-50 with a friend, and if that is the agreement that him and his friend came to, I mean, sure, have that be like the have that be the agreement, but it is very strange and very questionable, to say the least. And to say that clothes are clothes, not a big deal to me, really does play into the whole I don't really care attitude that Ken very often pushes in a lot of his videos. And I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit careless, but at the same time, he comes off as a little bit insensitive. And this is just my opinion. You can say that you agree or disagree, it doesn't really matter, but it just comes off as dishonest, unfortunately. And I wish that it was a little bit better handled, I would say. Ken then moves on to talk about social media in general, and he says, on the topic of social media, there is a reason why I don't post on a daily basis. I'm not a social climber, nor a clout chaser. Frankly, I don't give two blanks about Instagram or YouTube. I don't know if that's like the right thing to say. It seems kind of like you are not insulting, but you're kind of alienating the audience that you have amassed. It's kind of a not a great thing to say. I just do it so I can continue entertaining you guys with the events and sceneries in Tokyo that some of you guys won't have an opportunity to see firsthand. I treat everyone on an equal playing field, and no amount of fame will faze me or my ego. That's fair. I mean, I guess. To say that you don't care about it, I think is a bit extreme. I think you should care about it. I think you should care about the people who are supporting you, because more than likely the people who are supporting you are the same exact people buying from your brand. So really just saying that you don't care is a bit of a turnoff. It might be for some viewers. But yeah, I guess it's not that important to him, which is fine. I mean, you know, if that's true, that's on him, fine. And he says in his final thoughts, I don't care about internet beef, nor do I care about any petty dramas. Some of these claims were years ago when I was still stupid and naive. I still have yet a lot to learn. To you guys, take a break from social media. Don't always believe what's on the internet, or try to blindly agree with someone because they have a higher status / following than you. I'm never on the internet unless I want to make connections or talk to some of you guys. Some of these actions come with consequences, which I believe I have taken to that extent to improve myself. Worded a little strange, but that's fine. People have too much time to hate these days, and I hope we can change for the better. With that said, to those who talk about me freely and openly, I hope you have a great day. And to those who don't believe what I say, that's okay, I understand. And that was really all that Ken had to say about that. This whole situation is currently developing, but I just wanted to give you guys the basis for what's going on right now, especially with this pretty popular YouTuber. And the reason why I wanted to talk about him is because I actually really like him and his products quite a bit. This video will feed directly into the next video that I'm going to do. It's going to be a lot more generalized, but what do you guys think? I really want to know. I'm very curious. I think that the way he worded a lot of things could have been done a lot better. I really want to stay supporting Ken Ijima, but unfortunately with the way he's handling these accusations, it's not looking very good for him, unfortunately. But I mean, you know, with that being said, I really want to know what you guys think. If you guys have an opinion, please put them in the comments below. Let's talk about it. In his final thoughts, where he says, let's see, some of these claims were years ago when I was still stupid and naive. He is recognizing that he has made mistakes in the past, but he's not recognizing what exactly was his mistakes. He's not owning up to the fact that he has made mistakes and what those mistakes were. He's basically writing off these mistakes as things that happened in the past, so get over it. I don't like that approach, to be honest with you. So I'm really torn. I'm not really sure where to go from here as far as my thoughts of Ken Ijima. But honestly, him making these pants, these flared cargos, and them being probably one of my favorite pairs of pants that I own right now, I'm still going to wear them. I'm still going to do it. I purchased these off of a streetwear legend himself, Jacob Keller, so I actually didn't get them on release date. They actually just came in today for me. And man, yeah, just let me know what you guys think. I have a lot to think over when it comes to this, and it just, when your name, particularly Ken Ijima, when his name is so heavily associated with his brand, Vuja, it really kind of any bad press for Ken Ijima is equally bad press for Vuja. So let me know what you guys think. I hope I covered it as accurately as possible, at least up to today, which is Thursday, June 18th. If there are any updates with this, I will potentially make another video if there's more details to add. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Lastly, please do not go actively hating on this man. This man is doing him, and honestly, I'm not trying to cancel him. Truly, I'm not trying to cancel this individual. I'm just trying to put out what information is in the world and giving you my take on it. so that you can formulate your own opinion. But yeah, until the next video, please like, comment, subscribe if you really feel like it, and I'll catch y'all later.